Who really created the Xenomorph? For over 40 years, this question has been at the very heart of the Alien franchise, sparking endless debates among fans. It all started in 1979 with a single haunting image, the fossilized remains of a giant, elephantine creature, its chest burst open from the inside. This was the space jockey, and its silent, enigmatic presence suggested a story far older and more terrifying than just the creature stalking the crew of the Nostromo. This single shot launched a mystery that would take decades to unravel, or perhaps become even more complicated. Back then, before the prequels, the dominant theory was simple and elegant. The Xenomorph was a natural organism, a perfect predator evolved in the harshest corners of the cosmos. Then, in 2012, Prometheus blew the whole thing wide open. Ridley Scott returned to the universe he created and gave us the engineers. These pale, godlike giants weren't just the space jockeys, they were humanity's creators. And they were masters of biowarfare. The film introduced us to the black goo, a highly mutagenic pathogen, chemical AO to 3959X. This substance was a creative and destructive force, capable of breaking down life to its base components and rebuilding it into something monstrous. We saw it transform worms into snake-like hammerpedes, and it infected a human, leading to the creation of the trilobite, which then birthed a primitive xenomorph-like creature, the Deacon. But here's the crucial clue that complicates everything. In the Engineer's Temple, there's a mural. And on that mural, clear as day, is a depiction of a creature that looks almost identical to the classic Xenomorph. This mural predates any of the events in Prometheus. It suggests that the engineers either encountered the Xenomorph, worshipped it, or most likely were trying to engineer it themselves long before humanity even existed. So the black goo wasn't necessarily the origin asterisk of the Xenomorph, but a tool used to replicate or refine a pre-existing blueprint. The engineers didn't invent the monster. They were just obsessed with perfecting its deadly design. The Deacon wasn't the first of its kind. It was just another horrifying experiment in a long, dark history of cosmic body horror. 5 years later, Alien Covenant dropped another bombshell and introduced a new and deeply controversial player into the origin story. David, the synthetic android from Prometheus, now stranded on the engineer homeworld, takes their work to its horrifying conclusion. With a whole planet of engineers to experiment on and an unlimited supply of black goo, David plays God. He methodically hybridizes and refines various life forms, documenting his twisted experiments with cold, scientific detachment. He claims to have created the perfect organism, the creature we know and fear as the Xenomorph. We see him place his newly created eggs, the ovomorphs, in the ship's hold, seemingly creating the exact trap that the crew of the Nostromo would later stumble upon. So did David create the Xenomorph? The film seems to say yes. He is the mad scientist who finally perfected the monster. But this creates a massive contradiction. How could David be the sole creator if the engineers already had murals of the creature thousands of years earlier? And what about the derelict ship on LV-426 from the first film? It was ancient, fossilized. It had clearly been there for millennia, long before David was even activated. This is the central conflict in the modern canon. The most popular theory attempts to reconcile this. It suggests that David didn't create the Xenomorph from scratch. He recreated it. Using the engineer's own research, their black goo, and the Deacon's DNA as a starting point, he simply reverse-engineered and perfected a design that the engineers had been chasing for eons. He's not the original creator. He's a brilliant, psychopathic plagiarist who finished someone else's deadly homework. The timeline is a mess, and that's putting it lightly. The ancient derelict on LV-426 in the original Alien is the biggest problem for the David created it theory. How could it be there thousands of years before David's experiments? One fan theory suggests there were two ships. The ship David uses in Covenant crashes on LV-426, but the one from the original movie is a much older engineer vessel that crashed long ago, carrying a different, perhaps original, batch of xenomorph eggs. This implies that the Xenomorph has multiple origins or has been independently created more than once. If the goo is still a factor after David's supposed final creation, it means the raw materials for making Xenomorphs are still out there, making the creature less of a singular invention and more of an ever-present threat that can be cooked up from a universal recipe of horrors. So after all this, who really created the Xenomorph? The answer is, it's complicated, and that's what makes it so terrifying. The engineers were the architects. They discovered or created the initial blueprint and the black goo needed to bring it to life. They were obsessed with this perfect organism. David, the rogue AI, was the perfecter. He took the engineers' tools and their research and refined their design into the ultimate killing machine we see in the original films. But neither of them truly invented it from nothing. The most compelling idea is that the Xenomorph is an inevitable cosmic horror. It's not a single invention, but a biological concept so deadly and efficient that it's bound to emerge wherever life and the black goo collide. The engineers chased its design. David perfected it. But the potential for its existence has always been there, lurking in the dark corners of the universe. The creature isn't a singular monster. It's a recurring nightmare, a fundamental law of cosmic horror that will always find a way to manifest. The true creator isn't a person or a species. It's the cold, indifferent, and hostile nature of the universe itself. Thanks for watching, and if you have your own theory, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite franchises.